What's the worst thing you've ever found out about your best friend? When my best friend Sarah called me at 5 a.m. sobbing because she'd finally gotten pregnant after 2 years of trying, I never could have imagined what her husband Mark had been secretly doing to prevent it all along. Sarah and Mark had been trying to conceive since they got married. Every month, Sarah would get her hopes up and be devastated when her period came. She'd been to multiple fertility specialists who couldn't find anything wrong with either of them. As a pharmacist, I'd helped Sarah research fertility supplements and track her ovulation cycles. Everything seemed perfect on paper, but month after month, nothing happened. Then Sarah started mentioning weird symptoms. She'd have nausea and chest tenderness right around ovulation time, but then feel completely normal by the time her period was due. When I suggested she take pregnancy tests during those symptomatic periods, they always came back negative. Sarah mentioned that Mark had been incredibly supportive throughout their fertility journey. He'd make her special smoothies every morning, prepare her vitamins, and even started cooking all their meals to ensure she was getting proper nutrition. But I noticed Sarah was losing weight instead of gaining it, despite Mark's nutritious meal plans. When I asked her about it, she said the fertility stress was affecting her appetite. The red flag that made me really concerned was when Sarah told me she'd been having irregular bleeding between periods. Her doctor said it was probably stress-related, but as a pharmacist, I knew that symptom combined with her other issues could indicate something more serious. I started paying closer attention to Sarah's routine. Mark controlled everything she ate and drank. He'd pack her lunch for work, prepare her coffee in the morning, and insist on making her evening tea to help her relax. When Sarah mentioned she'd been feeling dizzy and having stomach cramps, I suggested she see a different doctor for a second opinion. Mark immediately shut down the idea, saying they couldn't afford more medical bills. I offered to help Sarah organize her supplements and medications to make sure she wasn't taking anything that could interfere with conception. When I went through her medicine cabinet, I found something that made my blood run cold. Hidden behind her prenatal vitamins was a bottle of misoprostol, a medication used to induce miscarriages and abortions. The prescription was in Mark's name, but the bottle was nearly empty. I immediately researched the medication and discovered it could be dissolved in liquids without changing taste or color. The symptoms Sarah had been experiencing, nausea, cramping, irregular bleeding, were all side effects of misoprostol. Mark had been secretly weakening Sarah with abortion medication every month right after ovulation, causing early miscarriages before she even knew she was pregnant. When I confronted Sarah with the evidence, she initially didn't believe me, but when I showed her the medication and explained how it worked, everything clicked into place. Sarah realized that Mark always insisted on making her morning smoothie right after her ovulation tests turned positive. He'd been timing the medication perfectly to terminate any potential pregnancies. That's when Sarah suggested we set up a hidden camera in their kitchen. The next month, when Sarah's ovulation test was positive, we caught Mark on video dissolving the misoprostol tablets into her smoothie. He was careful and methodical, clearly having done this many times before. When confronted with the video evidence, Mark broke down and confessed. He admitted he'd never wanted children but married Sarah because she had a good job and financial stability. Mark was arrested and charged with assault, reproductive coercion, and administering drugs without consent. He got 12 years in prison. Sarah is now 6 months pregnant with her first child.